This is lesson 4.1, Evaluating Expressions. The objectives of this lesson is that you can define evaluating, describe the result of evaluating an expression, list the steps to evaluate, and evaluate an expression given the values of variables. The definition of evaluating. Please fill in the blanks as I read. Evaluating is the action of changing an algebraic expression, those are the ones that have variables in them, into a numeric expression, no variables, by replacing variables with the given values and simplifying using the order of operations. Push pause if you need more time to fill in your blanks. Another way of thinking of the word evaluating is plug and chug. Since the expression is changed to a numeric expression, the resulting answer will always be numeric, a number. There should be no variables at all in your answers. So let's look at an example and talk about the steps to evaluating an expression. There are 3 steps to evaluate an expression. The first step is you simply copy the expression down, but wherever you see a variable, a letter, you will put a set of parentheses like a placeholder. For example, 2x plus 3z plus y if x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 4 and z is equal to 5. Notice how I copied down the whole expression 2, but I put a set of parentheses next to that 2 where the x would be located. Plus 3 and another set of parentheses for my z value, plus y, so instead of writing y, I have a third set of parentheses. The second step is to insert the value that you're given for each one of the variables. Be cautious because the variables in the problem may not be in the same order as they're given to you. For example, in the expression, you have x, z, then y, but the variables values that they give you are in x, y, and z. So you have 2, and then I replace the x with a 3, so that's what I wrote inside the first set of parentheses. Let's see if I can zoom in. Do you see my cursor? There we go. I replaced the 5, or the z with the 5, and I replaced the y with the 4. Now that I have a numeric expression, an expression that contains only numbers, then that's when you use the order of operations. I see 2 operations here, both addition. So I have to work from left to right. I first add the 6 plus the 15 to get the 21, and I just simply copy the plus 4. Then I only have one operation left. 21 plus 4 equals 25. Let's take a look at 2 focus questions. Follow along and write the problem down as I work through it. Okay, so my first step is I have to copy the expression down, but instead of writing variables, I'm going to write parentheses. So instead of an A, I have one set of parentheses minus parenthesis for the B and parenthesis for the C. So it doesn't look like much right now. I would recommend that you put a little bit more space, so I'm going to erase this real quick, more space so that you can fit in your numbers. Now I'm going. Sorry for that. Recordings just pop up while I'm talking. So I replace my A variable with the A that I'm given, the 4. I replace the B that you're given, the negative 2, for this set of parentheses, just fill it in, negative 2, and the C of 3 in the third set of parentheses. Now I have a numeric expression that I need to simplify using the order of operations. You may be confused a little bit when you look at PEMDAS because sometimes parentheses do not mean like do me first, they just show multiplication. And that's what we have here. The operations that I see in this problem are subtraction, and I see these parentheses of 2 numbers side by side that means multiplication. So you have to do your multiplication first. I'll copy down the 4 minus What's negative 2 times positive 3? You don't see a sign there, so you assume that it's positive. That equals, I'm going to put it inside parentheses just because I have this minus here. A negative times a positive equals a negative 6. Now look at the problem. What does it say? 4 minus negative 6. The operation is the minus. How do you subtract integers? Well, remember, that's the one that we don't like to do. We keep change, change, or same change, change. We can rewrite this as 4 plus 6. Whenever you have two signs side by side like that, you just change it to a positive or a plus sign. 4 plus 6 is 10. And that's your final answer. One last focus question, and then you can do some guided practice problems. X times y over z, so I'm going to make a set of parentheses for my x, my y, and over my z. Fill in each parenthesis with the appropriate value, so x is 4, y is negative 2, and z is positive 2. Use my order of operations. I have a multiplication up on top and a number on bottom of a division. So what do? If you've seen this before, you need to do the numerator first if you have a great big, what we call a complex fraction here, more than one term on the numerator or denominator. 4 times negative 2 equals a negative 8. All over 2, which this can reduce. A negative divided by a positive equals a negative. 8 divided by 2, or 8 over 2 reduced, is equal to 4. So that's your final answer of negative 4.